In this example, what is the sum of the first 10 terms of 2 plus 2 plus 2? Actually, we can just simply add everything, the 10 terms, and to get 20. But what if we are to use the formula? Let's first identify the ratio. The ratio here will be 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So our ratio here is 1. Since our ratio here is 1, going back to the rules to consider, if your ratio is 1, we will use this formula. So now let's substitute. There are 10 terms. The first term is 2. So it's just like 10 times 2, which will give us 20. Same when we just list everything and add everything. In this example, what is the sum of the first 10 terms of 2, negative 2, 2, negative 2, and so on? Let us first identify the ratio. Negative 2 divided by 2 will give us negative 1. Positive 2 divided by negative 2 will give us negative 1. Therefore, our ratio here is negative 1, where n is 10. Going back to the rules, if the ratio is 1 and n is even, if the ratio is negative 1, and n is odd, we are to use different formula. Since 10 here is an even number for our n, so we will use this formula. Let's check if this will give us 0, since the formula states that, since the rule states that if the ratio is negative 1 and n is an even number, then when you add everything in this geometric sequence, the answer is 0. Let's do the checking. Let's list everything. I list here the 10 terms on this sequence. 1, 2, 3, 10 terms. Let's combine or add, subtract everything. Negative 2 plus negative 2, 0. This will give us 0, 0, 0, 0, and the sum is 0. Therefore, it is true that when your r is negative 1 and n is an even number, the sum will be 0. In this example, we are to get the sum of the first 7 terms of this sequence. R here is still negative 1. This time, n here is 7. That is an odd number. If we have n as an odd number, we are to use a different formula. That is, S sub n is equal to A sub 1. It states that the first term will be the answer for this problem. Now let's do the checking. What if we will list everything, the 7 terms, will this lead us to A sub 1? So this will give us 2 plus negative 2, 0, 0, 0, plus 2. So indeed, A sub 7 is equal to 2. What is the sum of the first 5 terms of 3, 6, 12, 24, 48, 96, and so on? We can just simply list everything and add the first 5 terms. 3 plus 6 plus 12 plus 24 plus 48 will give us 93. But what if we are to use the formula? Let's identify first. In this formula, the ratio is not equal to 1. Then we will use this formula. Let's check. 6 divided by 3 will give us 2. 12 divided by 6 will give us 2. Our ratio here is equal to 2. Since our ratio here is equal to 2, we will use this formula when r is not equal to 1. Let's identify the given. and here is 5. Ratio here is 2. Our a sub 1 is 3. Let us now substitute the given to the formula. A sub 1 here is 3, our first term. Copy 1. R here, our ratio is 2 with the exponent of 5. That is our n. Over 1 minus 2. Our r here is 2. Continue. Just copy 3 first. Let's do it one by one. Copy 1. 2 raised to 5 will give us 32. 1 minus 2 will give us negative 1. Let's continue. 1 minus 32 will give us negative 31. Still copy negative 1 for our denominator. Continue. 3 times negative 31 will give us negative 93 over negative 1. When we divide negative 3 by negative 1, this will lead us to a sub s sub n is equal to 93. Same when we add all the 5 terms manually and we got 93. What is the sum to infinity of 1/2 plus 1/4 plus 1/8 plus 1/6 and so on? With the word infinity to the problem, obviously, we will use this formula, sum to infinity. Let us identify the ratio. 1/4 divided by 1/2 will give us 1/2. 1/8 divided by 1/4 will give us 1/2, and so on. So our ratio here is equal to 1/2. Using the formula, let us first identify the given. Our ratio here is 1/2. Our first term here is 1/2. By substituting, the first term here is 1/2. Denominator for this formula will be 1 over r, that is 1 minus 1/2. Simplifying, 1/2, just copy the numerator. We got the denominator of this expression is 1/2 from 1 minus 1/2. Using the calculator, 1/2 divided it by 1/2 is equal to 1.